You had the chance to speak about the film and working with the Navy at the Pentagon, right? In the briefing room. What was that like for you?
Surprising. I went along to the Pentagon. The Navy invited me, and I was meeting 4-star admirals and the head of the Navy, and getting the tour around the Pentagon, which was a fascinating experience, and a sign that the Navy were very behind the movie. I could see from spending my time with them how into it they were and how proud of it they were. And then they also said, and we'd love you to do a little press conference. And the press conference to me was about the partnership with the Navy, and letting sure the public knew why the Navy wanted to partner with movies and the purpose for them of letting people, giving them insight into the world and life of submariners. I didn't quite realize what I was stepping into, though. So when we get into the back room and I see, all there's like 100-odd chairs, and I thought this was just a small press conference, and said, no, it's going to be pretty busy. And he said, just go and say some things about the movie and your experiences. And I walk out, and suddenly Barbara Starr is there from CNN, and then I look behind me and I see the Pentagon, and I'm like, this is really from the briefing room in the Pentagon. And I knew they haven't done any briefings from the Pentagon in a long time, so I was slightly surprised that they were starting it with Gerard Butler.
Well, I think it took a lot of people a few minutes to get what was going on, and at first it looked like a very surreal image that could potentially just be maybe you were head of a cabinet now, for all we know.
See, and I didn't really get, as far as I knew, I was just doing a press conference for the Navy. I did actually see the irony of that afterwards. When
everybody's like, oh, okay, it's for a movie. Okay, good.
Yeah, and I'm talking, I opened it, because they said, just talk about your experiences. So I talked about my time on the Bond movie, where I basically had 4 lines. And I was a sailor on a ship. 2 of my lines were taken off of me. One which said torpedo bearing range 6,000, and I think the mix must have dropped it. And I've been traumatized since the British naval supervisor said, "You wouldn't say that. He would say that." That's what I opened my statement with, not quite realizing this is the Pentagon behind me, and people are like, what is he talking about? So I think it was maybe just, and then Barbara Starr immediately jumps into Saudi Arabia, and I thought 4 questions straight about Saudi Arabia, and I was like, okay, I think I've got to be on right now.
And you actually gave the best answer about Saudi Arabia than anybody in the administration actually had given. Can you talk about that? You had decided to not go to Saudi Arabia after the death of Khashoggi, the Washington Post journalist, right? Mm-hmm.
No, it was only a simple answer from our experience. Was we were already on tour doing promotion for this movie, and sad to say, we were very excited to go to Saudi Arabia, because a lot of good people put in a lot of work for our movie, in good faith, and then the press broke the morning of the night we were supposed to leave. But I think we had a discussion and knew that we were going to have to upset some people, but it would be upsetting many more people if we were to go ahead, including ourselves. It just felt completely wrong to be associated with anything over there at this point. So I'm pretty sure we made I know we made the right decision on that.